June 2018, Dwane Casey accepts the Coach of the Year award after leading his Toronto Raptors to 59 wins and a first-place finish in the Eastern Conference. But just 2 days later, he was fired, something that the NBA has never seen before. As coach of the Raptors, Casey had a competent squad led by young guards Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan, who made it to the postseason on a consistent basis. However, the only thing inconsistent about his time in Toronto was his success in the playoffs by constantly being eliminated in the first or second round. Now, Casey finds himself in a completely different situation in Detroit, a rebuild. With a new general manager, a deep rookie class, and only 4 returning players from last season's roster, some fans are wondering if he has what it takes to bring the Pistons back to relevance. I'm Alex Mayer, this is Motor City Sports Central, and today we're talking whether or not Dwane Casey is the right coach for the Pistons rebuild. Let's get started. Now let me start off by saying this. I am in no way saying that Dwane Casey is a bad coach. In fact, I think he is a great coach. It may have been via the 8th seed, but in his first campaign with the team, he brought the Pistons to the playoffs in what was one of the most entertaining Pistons seasons I've ever seen during my fandom. Remember back in November 2018 when the Pistons upset the revamped Raptors? It was only a couple months with his new team, and not only did Coach Casey already have a marquee victory under his belt, but a win against the organization that kicked him to the curb not too long before. But now the Pistons are a long ways away from where they were during that Toronto upset. In fact, Blake Griffin is the only remaining player from that squad that is still on the active roster today. It is no secret that Detroit is in full rebuild mode, even though Casey and new general manager Troy Weaver refused to verbally admit it to the fan base. So this season is serving as a peek into the future instead of a push for the playoffs. The goal for this year is simple: develop the young guys the Pistons have stockpiled on their roster, such as Sekou Doumbouya, this year's 7th overall pick Killian Hayes, Saddiq Bey out of Villanova, and the big man Isaiah Stewart from Washington. Although this is easier said than done, especially in a season where the Pistons have decided to opt out of participating in the G League due to COVID-19, it should be known that Dwane Casey is a player's coach. Going back to the Raptors once again, look at who leads that team right now. Kyle Lowry and Pascal Siakam. Both guys that hit their stride in the league while under Dwane Casey's tenure, and continue to both be 20-plus point per game starters. I bring this up not only to prove as an example of Dwane Casey's experience with developing players, but also because the young nucleus the Pistons have now is somewhat similar. Sekou Doumbouya's length and athletic ability draws comparisons to Pascal Siakam, and Killian Hayes' court vision is similar to Kyle Lowry's. So I think it's safe to assume that Coach Casey may have a plan when it comes to elevating their games. However, an argument against Coach Casey leading this rebuild is, well, quite frankly, his age. Many NBA teams nowadays tend to bring in new, younger coaches to lead their young teams. For example, Ryan Saunders is 34 and coach of the rebuilding Timberwolves. Taylor Jenkins is 36 and in charge of the youthful Grizzlies. And Luke Walton is 40 and coach of the Kings, who seem like they've been rebuilding forever. Now, do not be surprised if this is the reason why Casey and the Pistons decide to part ways this offseason, but there is a couple things he can do to not only assure the front office, but the fan base that he is the right guy for the job. One of those things is challenging his players. If things aren't going well late in the game for Blake Griffin or Derrick Rose, he needs to take initiative and put in his rookies Isaiah Stewart and Killian Hayes. The best way his young guys are going to develop is by throwing them into the fire. The bottom line is this: Coach Dwane Casey is not going to be evaluated this year on wins and losses, but by how different his team looks between now and the end of the year. If he helps his rookies show promise and effort, he might be the guy. But if he spoon feeds the rookies and lets them watch from the sideline, he might not be the guy. Let's just hope the latter isn't what ends up happening. That's going to be my time for this video, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Be sure to like, subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff. Follow me on Twitter, links in the description down below, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.